Hi Scorpio, here is your ex-partner reading for the month of March. I have already pre-shuffled and laid out the cards. I'm doing the 2-row spread like I always do. This is the row for you and this is the row for your ex-partner. Please keep in mind that sometimes the energies of the cards can get crossed over. So if I'm referring to you, it may very well feel that it fits more with your ex-partner. So you need to apply that to your own situation. Now, the first card we have up here is the Queen of Swords. Now, the swords is all to do with our thoughts and our thinking and our communication, okay? The Queen of Swords, it can be that maybe in some way you could be appearing to others to be slightly cold-hearted. The Queen can be described as that and also quite bitchy. But the reason is because when she's reversed, it can talk about you being very emotional, okay? And the need here is for you to start to think with your head. It's the need for you to start to refocus your goal and your direction. Do you want to reconcile with your ex-partner? Do you want to go in a completely different direction? The Queen can also be very cutting with her sarcasm. But the need here is to try to be more assertive, but not in such a cold manner. The need as well to weigh up your options. Is the chance of reconciling an option? Is it realistic? Can you make that work? Is it achievable? It's about you needing to use your own judgment here. The need to try to find some wisdom out of the chaos in regards to your emotions, because Scorpios can be very, very emotional. They're ruled by their emotions. And the need now is for you to be, to use your logic more than your emotions. Now, on your ex-partner's side, we have the 10 of Wands. The 10 is all about completion and endings. And it may very well be that the breakup of this relationship had weighed very heavily on your ex-partner. They may very well have felt that they were carrying the world around on their shoulders. But we see now that maybe in the month of March, we see that energy starting to clear from them. We see in some respects that burden being lifted. Maybe they have come to terms with the breakup. However they're viewing it, it can talk about releasing what no longer serves you, but it can also talk about a clearing out. Now, down here for you, we have the Magician card. It's number 1 in the Major Arcana and it is reversed. When the Magician is reversed, it can talk about manipulation, okay? So maybe in some way you are trying to manipulate the situation. But it can also talk about being out of touch with reality, feeling confused. Because the Magician is referred to as the trickster, as the conjurer. And that could very much be pointing to how you're feeling. We already touched on that with the Queen of Swords, about feeling that confusion, needing to get wisdom out of chaos. And also, with the Magician, it can as well ask the question for you to look at how you are communicating. Are you coming across in a very cold-hearted manner? Are you wishing to communicate? And if you are wishing to communicate, how are you communicating? But also, as I said, the need for you to get in touch with reality now. Because there's confusion here with you. Maybe there is an element of your head is saying one thing, your heart is saying something else. Now, on your ex-partner's side, we have the Two of Swords. And like I said, the Swords is to do with our thoughts and our thinking. The Two of Swords is about a decision, about a choice. But your ex-partner, see, this lady has got this blindfold on. And she's not choosing to see the problem. Or he, okay? But the thing is, if they can't see the problem, then they're not able to find a solution for it. Also, it can be very much about avoidance. Avoiding dealing with the situation. Maybe again, avoiding communicating. Maybe the only way that they can clear some of the burden and the weight they've been carrying around is to try to avoid this completely. Push it to the back of the minds. Also, there can be an element here of them needing to carefully consider the position of whom they are dealing with. The need for them to consider you in this situation and how you are communicating or not communicating, or how you are thinking and feeling. And they may very well not have full clarity on that. So they may need to make a choice here themselves about whether they should try for a reconciliation with you or whether they should let it go. But if they don't have clear clarity on the problem and what you are thinking and feeling, then it's very difficult then for them to make this choice and decision. It's kind of like being between a rock and a hard place at the moment. They know a choice or a decision has to be made, but they themselves don't have full clarity. Now, it could be because they are choosing not to face up to it, and they're choosing not to see something for how it really is. But it could also be that they're blindsided because of your confusion, and because they're not getting any clarity from you, because you're the one that's indecisive. Down here, we have your own energy here, being Scorpio and a water sign. We have the 5 of Cups, which is, as I said, for Scorpio as well as Pisces and Cancer. When it's reversed, it can talk about how in some way any pain you felt is now maybe going to start to subside or come to an end. It can talk about recovering from regret and accepting any mistakes that you have made or that your ex-partner has made. Is very much a card about looking towards the future now with some renewed hope. That if you can get some clarity on how you are feeling and get back in touch with reality, we can see you here starting to recover from this. There may well still be some regrets over what's happened. But the need here is for you to start to feel more hopeful now about your future. It's very much a card about picking yourself up, dusting yourself down in order for you to go forward. Now, on your ex-partner's side, we have the 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands, it very much talks about how they have put some plans into action. They have set their goal. They know what they want. And they're waiting for that to come into them. It's like waiting for your ships to come in. Holding on to this wand is very much representative, as I said, of them having set a goal and sticking with that goal and knowing what it is they want. And they're stood here patiently waiting for it. And it may well be that with this 2 of Swords, you know, they know what they want, but they don't know what you want. And here we see them waiting and waiting for what it is that they have set to come back to them. Your outcome card here is the Moon card. It is a major arcana. And it is your second major arcana. Yes, your ex-partner doesn't have any major arcanas. The Moon card it can talk about feeling a release from some fear, some unhappiness, and some confusion. It can talk about feeling that a weight has been lifted. It can talk about how you may not be entirely happy within your present situation at the moment. But we do see you recovering. It can be very much about you needing to confront your inner fears now. In order for you to regain your hope about the future, in order for you to pick yourself back up, you're going to need to confront what it is that you are fearing inside. Because the need here is for you to start to release that fear, to start to feel hopeful and happy again. On your ex-partner side, we have the Four of Cups here. Feelings and emotions. The Four of Cups, it can talk very much about the need for them maybe to go within inside themselves. Because it can talk about an element of disappointment. It can talk about something being offered to them, but they're not interested in that. It could be that your ex-partner may very well have had other offers from other people in regards to dating and relationships. And it may very well be that they're not in any way interested in those other offers, because all they're interested in is waiting for that ship to come in, i.e. you. Now I'm going to clarify your Moon card. Here we have the Eight of Wands, okay? Now the Wands, the Eight of Wands can talk about communication. And it can talk about quick communication, text messages, email, social media. And it may very well be that in some respects, you do start to have some renewed hope about reconciling with your ex-partner. And you may very well, in some way, be fearing a rejection from them. If you haven't communicated in the past, or your communication has been more of a harsh nature in the past, And then we see you regaining some hope about this relationship, but fearing that if you make contact with them, you don't know what response you're going to get. But we see here communication coming through. It can talk very much about unexpected communication. It can as well talk about potential journeys. Journeys that have to be made across water. So it could be that maybe your ex-partner is at a distance from you. And that you may very well be making that distance, making that trip across water to go to visit your ex-partner. Or it can be talking about there being a distance between you both. And the only way you can communicate with each other is via text and social media. But there's communication coming through here. It's either going to be made by you, or your ex-partner is going to communicate to you. Now I'm going to clarify their Four of Cups. Now they've got the Five of Swords here. The Five of Swords, it can talk about conflict. It can talk about arguments, okay? And it can talk about how if you contacted your ex-partner, they may have some mixed feelings. And they may very well want to discuss and bring up past things that you have done and said, which then could result to an argument. But the thing with the Five of Swords, it can talk about verbal confrontation, but it doesn't solve the problem. There's no winners in that, because if your ex-partner decides to have this verbal confrontation with you, all it's going to result in is you then turning your back and wanting to go in the other direction. They need to listen to you and listen to your point of view on this. And it's going to require them to try to understand what has gone on, and maybe why you did do things you did, or maybe why you did say things you did, and to avoid confrontation that's not going to resolve anything. Now, I'm going to clarify their Five of Swords. And there we have the Death card. Now, the Death card is your card for Scorpio. And the Death card, it doesn't have to talk about an ending to something. It can talk about, it can talk about an ending, but it can also talk about change. And with change or an ending, a whole new beginning can open up. You see, we've got this sun coming up here. To me, we've got the sun card in the major arcana or in the tarot cards, full stop, is the most positive card you can have. And out of the ending and the change, we then see that lovely sun coming up here. I feel that if your ex-partner can change the way they may have dealt with you in the past, maybe they have argued and, as I said, been verbally confrontational. If that can change, then we can see this new beginning here. I definitely feel, Scorpio, that there has probably been a lack of clarity and a lack of understanding from both of your sides in regards to things that have gone on and things that have been said and done. And I think if you can start to face up to reality and face up to what it is that you do really want, and if maybe you can start to let go of mistakes that maybe your ex-partner has made or maybe you have made, and let go of any regrets and face up to any fears that you may have. Fears in maybe communicating, because we see your ex-partner here waiting. They're waiting for you, I feel, to make that return. And it's interesting to see that again we have the water here. And then here we have the water again. Now it could be that you are returning, as I said, across water to meet with them. Or it could be in regards to communication. But I feel if you can make this communication with them, and they put their swords down and decide not to argue and to listen and not be confrontational in their actions, we can then see a change here. The fact that we see you here with this fear, and I do feel it's the fear of communicating with them. And this here, I feel, is more because it can talk about feeling unmotivated, disappointed, uninterested. And I feel that this is maybe how your ex-partner is feeling now, because we see them waiting for you to come back in. And we see you being undecisive and fearful. Maybe fearful that you will get rejected. But we see them sitting there feeling this way because they're not getting the communication from you. I just feel, Scorpio, that if you can open up the communication lines with your ex-partner, and set aside past regrets and mistakes and let all of that crap go, then there is most definitely the opportunity here for the two of you to create some change and have that new beginning. But it may very well require you to make that first step and communicate with them. Or if they communicate with you, be open to that communication and allow that communication to come through. It's nice to see a positive ending for you, Scorpio, because some of your readings lately have been quite heavy and slightly bordering more the negative side, okay? But I do feel a very positive outcome here, but it is going to require communication. So that does conclude your reading for the month of March. Thank you so much for liking, sharing and subscribing to my channel. It does really mean a lot to me. And I'll be back again really soon to do your love reading. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.